Good morning, all of you. So now let us discuss in today's class, we are going to study what is the internal, like suppose you know that in our kidney, internally it is made up of some kind of particular organ. What is that called as? It is like around 1 million nephrons. Nephrons is going to be made up of a large number of excretory units. It is only called as what? Nephrons. So nephrons are called as excretory units of what? Kidneys, correct? So this is what we used to call it as this kind of Y-shaped object here. What we are seeing, like this is what we should call it as nephrons. So like this, 1 million nephrons has been combined to form a kidney, human kidney. This is what we have studied in the last class. So let us discuss here. As you know, if we recall quickly the human excretory system, what are the organs present in our human excretory system? What is the main organs present in our human excretory system? Can anybody? Kindly. What is the main organs present in our human excretory system?
Kidney, sir.
2 kidneys. Reminding all is how to say. 2 kidneys. Next.
2 kidneys.
That's all.
Urethra.
2 kidneys. Then what are you remembering? Then what is the use of teaching?
Sir, ureter.
Ureters, 2 kidneys.
Urinary bladder.
Next one bladder. And the next one? Urinary bladder.
Urethra.
So this is what the human excretory system. So in that, the main one where the filtration of blood will take place, that is what the kidney. So in that kidney only we are studying at present the internal structure of kidney. So if we consider kidney, each kidney is made up of a large number of excretory units. That is what we should call it as what? Nephron. So now this nephron, if we consider, it is having 2 parts. What is that part, sir? Nephron. The U-shaped, you may observe the U-shaped upper region of this nephron is only called as Bowman capsule. Here you may observe the understanding the small tube-like structure which has been connected till the urine collecting duct. That is what we should call it as what? Tubal. You understand? So this tubal plus Bowman capsule both together we used to call it as what? Nephron. Understand? This Bowman capsule inside, it is having a small kind of, you may see, the spherical like balls are present. That is what we should call it as what? The filtration units of nephron called as glomerular. Glomerulus, correct? So what is the plural form of glomerulus? Glomeruli. Yes? Glomeruli is the plural form of glomerulus. So now here you can see this glomerulus has been connected with a double side, means 2 sides it is open. One side it has been connected to renal artery, which will carry what? Dirty blood. So now once it has been filtered and all the substances absorbed by the Bowman capsule, so the cleaned blood has been transported to the another side, like this thread-like structure you may observe, like a small tubal, and it has been connected to what? Renal vein, which will carry the cleaned blood from the glomerulus. This is what we have studied in the last class. Now, all unnecessary things like urea and large amount like other substances, etc., excess amount of water, everything has been passed through this tubal, and this is only called as what Dina is asked in the last class, proximal tubal. Both are same. Proximal tubal or tubal. Please all of you note it down. Proximal tubal or tubal, both are this is only this kind of one, which has been the lower part of the Bowman capsule, whatever it is connected to the urine collecting duct, that is what we should call it as proximal tubal, or we can call it as tubal. Do you understand, all of you? Yes, sir. So now, as we know that why it is turning around, why it is turning, can you able to say this one, this small tube like one which has been turning around this tubal. What is the use of this turning around this? Anybody?
Where it carries the blood to glomerulus.
Yeah, it will carry the blood to it will carry the blood to glomerulus. It is coming from the glomerulus. It is carrying the blood from the glomerulus to renal vein. Is it yes or no? But what is the use of turning around this? This is what I am asking. Turning around the tubal. Why it is turning around the tubal? That is what I want.
Here to carry out the process.
So, please tell me. Reabsorption, have you remembered? Because of this one, you may see that reabsorption of the useful substances like glucose, amino acids, salts, water into the blood capillaries. That is what the use of this turning around this tubal. Have you noticed it? That is what I have taught you. Please check your notebooks. You may written that same thing. Is it correct or not? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes. To increase the surface area, it is not the reason. Yes, if it is in, yeah, that is also correct reason. The physics behind it is same thing. So is it so the surface areas keep on increasing so that they will get enough time to absorb the glucose, amino acids, salts, and water into the blood capillaries, which is present surrounding it. So what is that called as reabsorption? Understand? First absorption by Bowman capsule from the glomerulus, and again the useful substances when they are passing to this tubal, proximal tubal, they have been absorbed, reabsorbed by means useful amount by this cleaned blood when it is passing through this tubal, means this tubal. So as we know that. So now finally the unnecessary substances or extra products has been collected to the urine collecting duct. That is what we should call as what? Urine. Is it yes? And this urine it has been passing to the where? Ureters, and ureters to bladder, and bladders to finally it will come out from where? It will come out from the urethra. Is it yes?
Urethra.
Is it yes? So this is what
Yes,
we
sir.
have studied in the last class. So what is the excretory units of kidney? What are the excretory units of kidney? What are the excretory units of kidney? Nephrons. Nephrons are called as excretory units of kidney. So now that is why you can observe here when this blood capillaries, when they are passing, which are turning around this tubal, they are having understanding. They will get enough sufficient time to observe, reabsorb this all kind of useful substances to the body. So how they will absorb, how this nephron, Bowman capsule and tubal, everything will work. That is all we'll discuss in our today's class. This is what we have studied, the internal structure of human kidney in the last class. Now, shall we move to our today's class? So in today's class, we are going to study what is the working of excretory system of units. What is the working of excretory system? Which part is called as excretory unit? Which part we should call as excretory unit of kidney?
Nephron.
Nephron. So, this is what the most important concept which we are going to study in our life process. 99% cases, so many times, if the theory question will come or this diagram will come from this chapter, they will ask you to draw. This is only. So draw the diagram of detailed diagram of nephron and explain the process of filtration of blood. They will ask you. So no issues. We will study now that. So shall we start now, all of you? Very, very important one. Okay. So now, whatever the diagram you have, please let it be, avoid it, and you please kindly take the screenshot of this now. This is what the diagram to show the working of human excretory system. Please, all of you keep heading. This is what the structure of nephron, or else in our notebooks also. All of you keep heading. What will you keep? Diagram to show the working of human excretory system. Diagram. Your side heading, today's class, you have to keep side heading, working of human excretory system. Working of human excretory system. So what is this called as? Bracket you have to write. What is that called as? Nephron. You understand? That is. So that is what you have to keep it. So what is this diagram name? Diagram to show the working of human excretory system. That is what this diagram. So please all of you take the screenshot and later we'll proceed. Shall we start now? Tina, Pranav, call to absentees. Still so many is there. Pranita, good morning. Call to Jesse. Jesse is not there today. One day you are.
Morning, sir.
Don't be there. So make a call. Absent is fastly. So now shall we start now? This is what the
Yes.
very important one, bro. So now you may observe here, in order to understand this working of this excretory system of humans, we must use, understand, this detailed picture or else a magnified image of nephron, which has been here. You may observe here what I have shown you in the last picture, like a small one, which has been a magnified image to better understand how this absorption and reabsorption everything is carried out. So now you may observe here the dirty blood containing wastes like urea, everything, which has been bought by Humra. Where it is? Can you able to show? Can you able to show me where the dirty blood is coming? Where the dirty blood is coming in this picture? Observe very carefully. Here, have you noticed? The dirty blood contains containing waste. What is this called as? Waste like urea. So like urea, this blood is containing. So that this is called as, what is this called as name? Can anybody say? What is that name called as? Is there some artery? What is that artery?
Renal artery.
Renal artery.
Or kidney artery. Correct or not? That is what you have to remember. So first part of the nephron is renal artery only. Why it is renal artery? Can you able to say? Because what is the functioning of renal artery? What is the function of renal artery? I am asking. Which will carries the dirty blood which contains the unnecessary substance or toxic substances, and it will brings to the organ called as, what is that body part of nephron called as? Bowman capsule. Do you understand all of you? So not Bowman capsule, glomerulus. That is what you have to remember. So the dirty blood which containing waste like urea has been brought by renal artery, which is enters to the which part of glomerulus. Do you understand all of you? This one. So here you may notice it. This from here to here. This is what we should call as glomerulus. And middle you can see here empty spaces observed. That is what we can say filtration unit. So the dirty blood which containing waste like urea has been brought by renal artery to the glomerulus. Now here the glomerulus filters the blood. What is the functioning of glomerulus? Which will tell me, which will filters the blood, correct or not?
Yes.
Filters the blood. So during this filtration, you can see the substances like, you can observe here, the substances like glucose, amino acids, salts, urea, everything has been absorbed by Humra. They will present, which is present in the blood, passing to the from the glomerulus to, they will be absorbed by whom? You can observe here. In all the directions, it has been absorbed by U-shaped part. What is that called as?
Bowman's capsule.
Bowman's capsule. Do you understand all of you? So the filtration has been done by glomerulus. Filtration has been done by glomerulus. Now, as a filtrate, all this glucose, you can observe here, the filtrate means useful only. Glucose, amino acids, salts, water, etc. Everything has been absorbed by U-shaped part is called as Bowman capsule. Do you understand all of you? Yes or no?
Yes,
now you can observe here this Bowman capsule, and they will be entering into the bottom part of Bowman capsule. After absorbed by Bowman capsule from the glomerulus, they have been entering into a tube. You may observe here the U-shaped tube. What is this called as? Just now I have told you. What is this tube called as? Like a tube, internal tube is called as. What is this called as? Tubal. Understand all of you?
Tubal.
This tubal is also called as what? Proximal tubal. What we should call? Proximal tubal. All of you should remember. Very, very important. I think your textbook has given proximal tubal, correct? Is it yes? So,
Yes, sir.
it has been observed, the filtrate which containing glucose, amino acids, urea, salts, water, etc. They will be passing into the lower part of Bowman's capsule. That is what we should call it as what? Tubal or proximal tubal. That is what you have to remember. Now you can see This, when this filtrate containing useful substances, again they have to be absorbed, understand, and also it may contains most of the useful substances as well as unnecessary substances also. But you can see the useful substances which is required to our body, they have to be reabsorbed into the blood through the blood capillaries which are surrounding the tubal. Have you noticed it here? Which are surrounding to the tubal. This is what, like snake, you can see. This is what we should call as, what we should call blood capillaries. Do you understand, all of you? So here you can see, once the blood has been filtered, the cleaned blood has been connected by, it is coming from the glomerulus by the blood capillaries, which are connected to what? Which are connected to the vein, called as what? What is that vein called as? You can observe here.
Renal vein.
Renal.
Renal.
Here you can see, this is only, this blood capillaries, they will go and they will connect it to the renal vein. Renal vein. That is what you have to remember. Now, you can observe here why these blood capillaries are surrounding by this tubal, because you can see, all of you observe very carefully. I will show you the different pen. You can observe everywhere you are seeing some arrow. Have you noticed it? Wherever these capillaries are surrounding by this, there are some arrow it is indicating. What is the meaning of this arrow? Can anyone please? Dina, Pranav, Arya. What is the use of, what is the meaning of this arrow? Means in the sense of what? It is reabsorbed. Have you noticed it? All the glucose, amino acids, most salts and most water reabsorbed in blood here, except urea. Urea are not reabsorbed. It has been passed into the some water, some salts, and some all understanding, and all the urea from this understanding liquid has been carried into the urinary bladder. Do you understand, Ra? Urine from other tubals, everything, every nephrons and all, which has been connected to the tubals, and this tubals has been connected to the urinary bladder to urethra. It has been coming outside. So here you can remember why here the urine is stored, understanding the urinary bladder, which I have already discussed for some times, and ultimately which is passed out from the body through the urethra. That is what you have to remember. So here, this red color arrow, I am saying you, what is the meaning of this red color arrow? Because what is the meaning of it? Means in the sense of whatever coming through as a filtrate from the Bowman's capsule, when they are passing through this tubal, actually they have to be useful for our body. So that must be again reabsorbed by our body. So who will reabsorb means this blood capillaries, yes, minerals. So the blood capillaries which are surrounding by this, you can notice it, surrounding by this tubal, they will absorb slowly. That is why here the surface area is much more. They are turning. So continuously they will be absorbed at the every stage, and all the glucose, most of the water, and all the amino acids and most salts, everything will be reabsorbed by these blood capillaries, and they will be supplying back into the body, and they will be connected to this blood capillaries are connected to the vein called as, what is that vein called as, Ra? What is that vein called as? Renal vein. Understand, all of you? Now, remaining thing, complete urea and some amount of water and some salts which is passing through this tubal. The tubal is connected to the some kind of duct. That is what I have taught you in the last picture. What is that called as? Urine collecting duct. Have you noticed it? Like a branches. That is what we should call as what? What we should call? Urine collecting duct. So now, these urine collecting ducts from every nephron, understand, you can observe here, this is one urine collecting duct, this is one urine collecting duct, like that. Every nephrons has been connected throughout the kidney. From 1 million nephrons, everything has been connected to the one kind of tube-like structures. What is that called as? What is the name of that one? Called as ureters. What is that? Ureter. So we have two ureters, each from one kidney. Now, this ureter has been connected to what? Ureter has been connected to the blood. Understand? So now this blood, understand, it will store the this kind of unnecessary liquid called as urine for a certain time. So whenever it is a frequent interval of time, it will be go out from our body by which one?
Urethra.
Urethra. That is what you have to remember. So what is that called as? Urethra. Please write it. Urethra. So this is what the internal structure of the human excretory unit called as nephron. So now, please all of you remember, so this urea also contains most of which the urine which contains the urea, that is also, and also it contains some kind of acid called as uric acid. What we should call? Uric acid. Please kindly remember. And this most probably they will ask you the question, what is the substances of urine? Can you able to say anybody? Dina, Padmavarshini, anybody? What is the substances of urine?
Water, salts,
Contain
and
what?
all.
Some amount of water, some salts, and all urea, and all
Urea.
urea from urine. And as we know that it also contains some uric acid, and mainly remember it contains nitrogenous substances. That is what we should call it as urea. Nitrogenous substances means like ammonia. Do you understand, Ra? All of you? Urea. So that is what you have to remember. Nitrogenous substances. So that is only called as, that is also that nitrogenous substances, most probably it is what? Urea. And also it is containing uric acid. That is what. They will ask you for one more question, or else they will give you even MCQ also. Below means in below given options, which of the following is the product of urine, waste product of urine. So by the time you have to remember water, urea, and some amount of salts. That's all. Very good, all of you. So this is what the internal structure or the diagram to show the working of human excretory system. Now let me quickly recall what is happening in this human excretory system. What is this called as, all of you? This is only called as nephron, correct? So in this nephron, what is happening, right? Explanation. Suppose if it will come for 3 more question, what you people will explain? Anyhow, now it is MCQ only, as we know already. But next second term it may come. Then what we have to do? What we have to do? Tell me. First, the dirty blood has been brought by whom? Dirty blood will bring by renal artery to the
Renal artery.
glomerulus.
Glomerulus.
Glomerulus will filtrate all the substances like small substances like glucose, amino acids, salts, water, urea, etc. And big molecules like proteins will still with this blood, and they will be passed through the blood capillaries, which are surrounded by what? Surrounded by tubal. Now,
Tubal.
glomerulus, all the substances like small substances like glucose, amino acids, salts, water, and urea, everything has been absorbed as a filtrate. Absorbed as a filtrate by whom? A U-shaped one, which is called as what?
Capsules.
So now, from the lower end of the Bowman's capsule, which has been called as tubal, this all the waste has been passing through them till where? Till the urine collecting duct. Urine collecting duct. But you now see that while it is passing, this all the filtrate is passing, again some useful substances has been reabsorbed by the body by with the help of these blood capillaries, which are surrounding by this tubal or proximal tubal. So now most of the water, most of the glucose, and most of the amino acids and salts, they will be reabsorbed into the blood, except urea. And urea, along with the urea, like all the nitrogenous products, some water, some salts, and complete urea, and along with that some uric acid has been passed to urine collecting duct. So the urine collecting ducts, whatever from the every nephron, this all the urine collecting ducts will be supplied to the all this unnecessary yellowish liquid called as urine to the ureters. So these ureters will carry to the bladder, and bladder it will store for a certain period of time. So after every interval of time, that bladder will send the urine or this useless liquid to the
Urethra.
from the outside from the body, out from the body by urethra. This is what is called as a complete process, filtration process of blood, which takes place inside the nephron. Is there any doubt, anybody? And please kindly practice this diagram too, because why I am saying you, let it be. If it may be MCQ or maybe a theoretical. First one definitely it will be MCQs. I know that. But by the time what will happen means the same diagram they will give you for MCQs. I am not joking you. You may notice it. Figure based questions. MCQs they will give you and they will ask you mention this particular part. What is this called as? They will keep like this arrow. Suppose see, they will keep the arrow here. Bottom they will give you glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, blood capillaries, and some other urine collecting duct. So by the time we must know which one is correctly present. Now you can observe here, and this part, particularly this part and this part, there is no kind of any kind of information. They have not mentioned, but they will keep some arrow here and they will ask you what is this called as? What is this called as? Renal artery. Correct?
Renal artery.
They will ask you the question. They will give you this diagram and they will ask you, these blood capillaries are connected to dash. They will ask you. Bottom they will give you 4 options. The blood capillaries are connected to the what? Renal vein. Yes or no?
Renal vein.
They will ask you like questions. What is the functioning of Bowman capsules? Bottom they will give you like 4 options. Do you understand? So like they will give you collecting the urine, collecting all the filtrate, or else filtration. They are the filtration unit of nephrons, or none of the above. What is the correct answer? What is the functioning of Bowman capsule? It will absorb filtrate, which is containing glucose, amino acids, salts, and
Amino acid salts, butter and urine.
from the where? From the glomerulus.
Glomerulus.
For example, they will ask you one more question. What is the filtration unit of nephron? Actually, nephron is the filtration unit of kidney. Are you understand? Kidney is the filtration unit of human excretory system. And inside if you go, again I can say, you can see, kidney is called as the excretory unit of human. If you go inside the kidney, nephrons are the filtration unit of kidneys. If you go inside the nephron, who is the filtration unit?
Glomerulus.
That is what depend upon the question. Suppose you can see, you people may not listen the question carefully. They will give you the question like this. What is the filtration unit of nephron? So bottom they will give you kidneys, understand? Or else tubulars, or else duct, bladder, or else they will give you glomerulus. So by the time we know that you will think already kidney is there. Oh, kidney is there. So that let us keep it, because we know that kidney is the filtration unit of our human body. But they are asking what? Filtration unit of nephron. So that is why we have to be very, very careful. So what they are asking the question, correctly how to remember and they have to answer it. So from diagram only, most probably so many MCQs will come. So that kindly all of you practice this diagram. I hope you learn also. Let it be MCQ also. Kindly learn this diagram and take the screenshot of this. This is what we should call as a diagram to show the working of what? Human excretory system. All of you note it down. That is what about this one. Anybody is having any doubt? Ask me. Dina, have you understood now what is proximal tubal? Tubal or proximal tubal, both are same. Is it okay, Dina? Akshaya, Arvind, anybody having doubt?
Yes.
You can ask me. Tarani, anywhere, any doubt? Any part is missing? You can ask me. Is it clear? So if it is clear, now we are going to entering into the last concept of this chapter, that is only called as renal failure and the technology for survival. So if renal fails, what is the meaning of renal? That is what we are going to study in the next class. So what is that called as renal failure? Anybody? Renal failure. You may understand renal failure. What is the meaning of renal failure? Anybody? What can I say for another name for renal failure? So that is what we are going to say. Suppose they will ask
Failure. Kidney failure.
what is renal failure? What people will say?
Kidney failure.
Kidney
failure.
They will ask you heart failure, liver failure, and kidney failure. What you will say? Renal failure means, what is the meaning of renal failure? All of you?
Kidney failure.
That is what you have to remember. Kidney failure. And you may heard a word. Your grandparents or your relatives, somebody, you may notice it. Sugar patients, they usually go for filtration of blood. That is what we should call it as, start with the name D. Can anybody say?
Dialysis.
That is the technique which we are using to survive even though our kidneys will fail. So if one kidney will fail, we can survive. But if both kidneys will fail, is it